Okay. I think I will ask you a couple of questions that will, as remarks, marking points for the interview that we can later. I can cut any piece into pieces. Okay. Okay. Well. And this year's calendar helped you to return from Bolivia just to the biggest feast for Daughters of Charity.
I arrived the day before the renovation of Al's and did that with the sisters. As usual, my hope was afterwards to go to Algeria, but I never received a visa, so I went back and took care of much work that was on my desk in Rome. And then from there...
There came a very special and surprising phone call from Dom Santa Marta.
That's right. I got a message Monday night at 10 o'clock from my secretary saying I had to appear in the sacristy of Santa Marta to concelebrate the Holy Eucharist with Pope the next day. It was Tuesday, the 16th of April. And it was a very nice celebration. There were about 9 concelebrants and about 35 people present in Mass. And the Pope, as the sisters say, he preaches every day a spontaneous message.
Yes. How do you find this new practice of Pope Francis to be the pastor of the world?
Yeah, I
short homily every day.
Yeah, he's truly a pastor. And that's what I think that wherever I go, the people of God, they're impressed by that closeness that he manifests and his encouragement of his priests to do the same, so throughout the world. So it was a delightful experience, and I'm thankful that the Daughters of Santa Marta, the Daughters of Charity, who are the work in the administration.
It's a special privilege for the family that the Pope is something like a Vincentian at the moment.
Well, he's a good faithful follower of Jesus Christ, like St. Vincent Paul was, and he loves the poor, and that's no doubt about that.
But he is under the care of the Vincentian family.
Of the Daughters of Charity. You are right.
And just because your schedule was very, very busy and very tough, from this special occasion at Dom Santa Marta, and from the renovation of the vows with Daughters of Charity, because you've spent a while with the Polish community of Daughters of Charity in Paris.
Yeah, well, that day I did the vows, and afterwards I went and visited the Polish community.
And it was something like standing on the threshold before the visit to the province of Poland.
Yeah, I went to the province of Poland and was able to visit a section of the province that I had not yet seen. That's in the western part. Previously was Germany, being given back to Poland after the World War II. So I'm quite impressed with the work that the confreres are doing there, and thoroughly enjoyed my visit, and as well as renewing my opportunity to visit once again Krakow, and then as well as the confreres at the provincial house and the seminarians. And the Daughters of Charity of their provincial house.
And there was a unique occasion that you were assisted by Father Zontak.
Yes.
It doesn't happen often that both Superior General and the Assistant General visit a province or a region together.
Yeah. And it was helpful for me as well, though. And it was good for him to get the opportunity to see the province. It's my third occasion to have gone.
Yes. And how do you find changes in Poland since your first visit and this present one?
I'm not sure how. I mean, you could speak about changes in a whole lot of different ways. The province, speaking of the province itself, it's a province I think that's always had a great commitment to the spirit of the Congregation of the Mission, especially as a missionary province. So, I mean, the country in itself, I mean, it's had its ups and downs since the end of communism. There's been economic growth, but then there's been economic crises. One of the things that struck me, the number of people that even are continuing to leave the country and look in hopes for a better life elsewhere. So I mean, I find a very good experience and a good spirit among all the confreres. So I wouldn't have anything to make a comparison. If it's not any better, it's just as good as it's always been.
Mm-hmm. This visit was slightly different because in the previous one, in 2009, you were moving from south to the north with, with the main houses, including Daughters of Charity.
No, I specifically told Father Visitor that I wanted to visit a new part of the province this time, and that's why he took me to the western part. They're communities I had never visited before.
They are so distant from the mainstream,
right.
and a visit to the shrine in Zakopane.
That was the second time I wanted to go back to Zakopane, because the very first time I fell in love with the shrine and its the ambiance, its devotion to the miraculous medal and the historical development of the medal that's shown throughout the different aspects and parts of the church. So I did ask to return to visit Zakopane again in the parish of the miraculous.
There are still some Vincentian locations in Poland that you didn't see in your visit. So perhaps there will be another occasion to visit Poland again.
I'm not sure. I think I have visited every community, as I was told, at least the congregation of the mission. I will be returning in September to a mission of the Daughters of Charity and the congregation of the mission, but in another country.
In Kazakhstan.
In Kazakhstan.
You were preparing for Kazakhstan for some time.
I was hoping it was going to be this time, but then I was told that the weather would not be appropriate to go in this time. It would have been too muddy, so we've selected another moment, and I am prepared to go then.
And I think it is something special because most of the people in the world, especially, are not aware that the Vincentians are present in so distant and wild territory as Kazakhstan.
Yeah. Well, the Daughters of Charity are also opening up a mission in another part of that part
near the Vladivostok on the
Uzbekistan.
Yes, but it's something different because those daughters and the Polish Vincentians are working with people who were expelled from the Poland some years ago, and this will be a very special occasion for you to meet the part of the province outside the province.
Yeah.
You didn't spend a lot of time in Rome when you came back from Poland. You were traveling to another place.
Yeah, I went to Tanzania.
It was in the Tanzania. It is a mission staffed by province south of India.
Well, my original plan was to visit the mission of the Daughters of Charity in Tanzania that was opened up 6 years ago. Which the last time I was in Tanzania, the daughters had arrived, but they had not started the mission and they're only learning Swahili. So I promised to come back again, and this time I made plans to visit them, but at the same time, I'm not going to visit just the Daughters of Charity. I'll visit the confreres and the rest of the Vincentian family, if opportune to do so in a particular country. So I arrived and I spent the first 5 days in the area where the confreres of the southern province of India are. And now there is a healthy number of young Vincentian Tanzanian priests as well, and a number of them in the seminary. They have 2 ordinations this year, and in 2 years' time they'll have 4 more ordinations. So they're growing as a mission and hopefully moving towards vice province. And then the next 5 days, I traveled north to an isolated part of the country where the Daughters of Charity are working in a mission. There are 8 of them there presently. It's an international community, an American. There are 4 sisters from Congo. There are 2 sisters from Madagascar, and then 1 sister from India. And 2 more are being prepared to go. One more from Congo and another sister from India.
So, experiencing the situation when once missionary territories are becoming the source of the missionary for another.
That's right.
And this is how the presence of the congregation of the Vincentian family is growing in Africa.
Right. There's a sister servant in Tanzania. She worked as a missionary. She's an American, but she worked in Madagascar for 33 years.
Oh,
Previous to that, she worked in Bolivia, and now she's working in Tanzania.
very missionary.
Yeah. And what the beautiful thing is, Madagascar has become mission-oriented, and as well as Congo, more mission-oriented. So, and not to even India, as because of the great number of vocations, both for the daughters and the confreres in the provinces in India. They too are spreading out and sending missionaries.
So as Polish, I can think that the new mission in Benin will give some seeds for new Christian life in this part of Africa.
We certainly hope. And I'm very grateful to the province of Poland because 2 confreres already have responded, a 3rd one who wants to go to Benin as well, and heard in these days even a 4th one, all from the province of Poland, who want to staff this area, very much in need of missionaries.
Yes, I was talking to one of the missionaries, and he said that in a couple of days he will be giving a baptism in the parish where there is nobody baptized.
Right.
And that is something unique for him and for the place where he works.
It's mission territory.
Yes.
And new grounds for evangelization, and especially in this year that we celebrate the Year of Faith, and as both Blessed John Paul II as well as Benedict, as the Pope Benedict has invited us to move forward with the project of new evangelization.
Yes.
And we're on the bill with doing that because
Yes.
it's part of who we are.
So I think we are going to the end. You have your schedule here in Paris is very busy.
It's a tight one. There's
It's
lots of people
tight
that
one.
would
But
like to
thank
see
you
it.
very much for giving us the time
Oh.
for a talk and sharing the recent experiences in your life as a superior general and the missionary and the Vincentian. What can you say at the end, just for the whole Vincentian family, using this on this occasion that we are here in Paris and talking?
It's. I will continue to give my utmost to the encouraging all the branches of the Vincentian family to work towards a greater knowledge one of the other, in order to collaborate one with another, and together with the poor, for the building up of God's kingdom. And the charism is not owned by any particular branch. We all share that charism. It comes from God, and we want to give back to God the love that He has for us, and He asks us to share with the poor. So let's do it, and let's do it together as a family, because I think the poor deserve the very best, and we have to give them the very best we can.
Quoting the Blessed Frederick Ozanam on your T-shirt.
Yes.
Let's go to the poor.
Let's go to the poor. That's right.
Okay. Thank you, Father General.
And I want to thank you, Thomas, for all the good work that you do in helping to promote the Vincentian family, and through these modern means of technology, and for your presence here covering this event. And hope that as a result, more people will become more and more conscious of the fact that we are working together as a family, and we have to continue to do so.
Thank you very much for flattering me.
Yes.